So when we first talked about the program, I was actually working with Rachel. I had just completed, my background is in nursing, and I had completed a health coaching course. And then my focus was on grief coaching because my background's mostly in hospice. So I was sort of at that point, but I sensed, could see these blocks in myself and, fears coming up about, what is this going to look like? How am I going to put myself out there? And was looking for a coach actually. And I came across Rachel's website. And so we started working together and you asked me about, you're like, this is coming up. So one of my fears, honestly, was that I had just finished these two other courses and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep up or, show up 100% to this class. And so yeah, that was something I had to kind of work through to make sure I could do it basically. Yeah. I think the thing that I kept coming back to in my heart and intuitively is that um it made complete sense to do this. Like I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I was being drawn to do it. I knew that the timing just lined up. Um and so I just like the other classes just made, I made this commitment to it. It's like no matter what, I'm going to do a little bit every day. And told myself I can do this. Probably the biggest thing, the takeaway I would say from this class and working with Rachel is that there's a lot out there for, how to move through barriers and move through the ego, but this was the most practical, methodical um, technique I'd ever been offered or used. And so it was different in the way that I could always go back and have exercises or something to reflect and really lean into. Um, Versus sometimes there's a lot of things out there that is really hard to put into practice. In theory, we know there's these barriers or the ego that acts up, but it can kind of feel like, yeah, but how do I do that though? How do I really change? How do I make that shift? So that was just something, the biggest takeaway from that class for me. We're on video, which is different, the connection's different, and then you're, all on the screen and getting to know each other. And I think I intuitively felt anyway that whoever was being called to this class, that we were all meant to be together. And it was really very easy. I think it was an easy connection. I have found certainly, Rachel is a great teacher and very supportive, but also the group was very supportive. I think all of us went through huge things, even while we were in the class and in our personal lives. And we formed friendships, really, really deep and strong friendships. So um, I think after the first class, you get into it and you start sharing, and it's a really beautiful experience. So I wouldn't hesitate at all to do it again. So it was a beautiful gift, and it came at the perfect time as it does. So I would say to everyone, if it's coming, if it's crossing your path, it's crossing your path for a reason.